Crown Jewel was thought it was a pretty good show. They gave a lot of the matches time. I think every match was given at least. I don't think there was a match that got under 11 minutes. I think every match was like 11 minutes plus, which is good. With Triple H running things, they don't overstuff these pay-per-views anymore. We get minimum 7 matches on these pay-per-views now, and that's a good thing. Less quantity over quality over quantity. That's the phrase. There's a lot of stuff to like. Maybe some questionable decisions as far as the outcomes. Um, there's 2 matches that I thought weren't good, and we'll get into those later into the show. But let's jump right into Crown Jewel. So the show opened, and it took 7 minutes and 38 seconds to get Seth Rollins' entrance. Come on. It takes 7.5 minutes for an entrance to start the show. Like 7 minutes of video packages, and it's just ridiculous. Intros, video packages is stupid. You wasted 7.5 minutes on video packages and shit before we get the opening match. They gotta do better on that. It doesn't need to take 7.5 minutes to do all that stuff. Anyways, so the show opens with Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I haven't been the biggest fan of the feud. I get where they're trying to go with Drew. He wants to go. It feels like he's almost to that breaking point, and he's gonna go crazy, or is he join Judgment Day? I don't know, but I feel like the whole purpose of this feud is to get Drew McIntyre to the place where he needs to be. This wasn't really so much beneficial for Seth Rollins, other than the fact that this was probably the best World Heavyweight Championship match that Seth Rollins has had on this run that he's going. Fantastic match. I thought this was match of the night. Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Can't expect anything less. I would almost damn near say this was a 5-star worthy match. They gave they gave them a lot of time. I think it went like 18 minutes. It wasn't just action, action, action. They let stuff breathe, which is great. You can't just have action, action, action. You gotta have break spots. Good break spots. Not just break spots, just to have break stops. And I thought these guys over delivered. They had a better match than I thought they were. Because I mean I know they're both great in the ring, and they could definitely have a great match. But usually with WWE matches, you don't really get those often. But ever since, Triple H has been in control, the match quality on the WWE product has been a lot better, and this was a prime example of that. Match of the night, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. Rollins retains his championship, which he should. There's no reason to give the title to Drew whatsoever. There was no reason to take the title off of Rollins. But after the match, Damian Priest comes out to cash in his Money in the Bank contract, but Sami Zayn jumps him from behind. He's like all hoodied up. Then he revealed himself, and then he takes Priest's contract and runs off into the ground. So now, Priest does not have possession of his Money in the Bank contract. This whole Sami Zayn thing, wanting to get rid of each member of the Judgment Day on his own, whether he gets help or doesn't, kind of reminds me of when. I know this is a bad comparison, but this is just what comes to mind. Is when Frankie Kazarian called himself the Elite Hunter, and he was purposely going out ruining matches and just jumping, beating up members of the Elite just randomly. on AEW a couple years ago. This is kind of what it reminds me because Sammy, other than Jay and Cody, doesn't really have a lot of. We don't really see him interact with any other people as far as like who he could recruit to be like friends with, right? Because Kevin Owens isn't there anymore. So I think this is kind of funny, also kind of lame at the same time. But I get what they're trying to do, and I can appreciate that. We go backstage, see Rhea Ripley and Drew McIntyre. Drew's all blown up from his match, and Rhea just like shrugs her shoulder at him and be like, "Hey, told you so. You should have joined the Judgment Day." Now, I don't really want to see Drew McIntyre on the Judgment Day. To me, he doesn't fit like a Judgment Day esque type of character, but I do think he should definitely, you know, go to that breaking point and just be a total asshole. Be full on heel Drew McIntyre. Because his heel run he came up on the main roster all those years ago wasn't that bad. Definitely could have been better. But with Triple H now, I feel like Drew could deliver a fantastic heel run. It's all about execution. Next, we had a 5-way women's match for the WWE Women's World Championship. The less said about this, the better. Man, I like this finish though. The finish was pretty cool. Rhea hit a riptide on Zoe Starks on top of Raquel, who was pinning Shayna Baszler, and it looked really cool visually. It was executed well. Rhea got the victory, of course, as she should. She pinned Baszler um, after she hit the riptide on top of them, and she retains her title. There was no need whatsoever. I don't even know why this match was happening because they all started arguing with each other in the ring a few weeks ago. I guess I don't know. But yeah, the less said about this, the better. Like what were they gonna do? Put the title on Zoe Stark? And I like Zoe, but she's nowhere near ready yet. And Nia, don't even. I'm not even gonna say anything about Nia. Shayna, she's just been dead for years. Let's be honest. She's been beaten like a pole, like a dead horse for years. She had that long losing streak. You guys remember that? Oh my gosh. So I really just don't, unless they repackage her back to her NXT badass days, then she could work. But I just don't feel like anybody cares about Shayna Baszler's character at the moment. Yeah, she beat Ronda Rousey, and a lot of people are happy about that for the wrong reasons. They weren't happy that Baszler beat Ronda. They were happy that Ronda's no longer with a company. So yeah, I don't know. Thank God Rhea Ripley won. Then we get a video package for Survivor Series announcing that War Games is going to be a part of Survivor Series, which is fantastic to see. Now the question is, what's going to be the War Games match? Obviously, it probably has to do something with Judgment Day and Cody and Jay and Sammy, but who are the other two partners going to be? No idea. Maybe they do something with the Bloodline. I don't know. I don't know what the Warzone Call of Duty guys. I don't know what the War Game match is gonna be. Then again, Roman's not advertised, so it's probably not gonna be nothing with the Bloodline. It's likely gonna be something Judgment Day related. So we shall see. Next, and I like this part of the show a lot. We had Solo Sikoa versus John Cena. You know, that segment between them yesterday on SmackDown was a bit interesting. Solo didn't say much. He doesn't really need to, but then again, Solo's got to start talking more. Got to know if he can talk. He's good in the ring. Sure, he's a big green on the green side, but he's good. Just because you're green doesn't mean you're good. So, Solo is very good. Got to hear him talk more. and Cena completely won that promo battle yesterday by a landslide. And I really thought Cena was gonna win here because everything Cena said yesterday in his promo was right. He's a Taz ripoff. We waited a year for you to speak, and that's all you had to say. And Cena was right. Solo did nothing for himself yesterday. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because Solo, surprisingly, got the victory against Cena, and predominantly it was a lopsided match. Kind of lopsided, at least in my opinion. That's how it came off to me. Because Solo was just kicking his ass. Cena got some stuff, but Solo kept hitting him with the Samoan spike over and over and over and over and over and over again. Just beating his ass with that spike. And Solo pinned him clean in the middle of the ring. Good on Cena for putting Solo over. And it's nice to see Solo get a very big, important victory because predominantly he loses almost all his TV matches. So it's good to see this. It's good stuff. I like this progression of Solo, and we're probably not going to see Cena again anytime soon because the writer strike should be about over any day now. So we shall see. Good on Cena. Good on Solo. Good stuff. Then we had a random Miz TV segment. Now, I don't know if this was advertised on the pre-show or on Twitter or anything like this, but I did not see this advertised at all. But it was there. So Miz brings out Abraham Al Hajjaj. I hate saying names I can't pronounce. But apparently he's like a big actor over there in Saudi Arabia, and he was part of the highest grossing Arabic movie or something like that, something along those lines. And the Miz asks Abraham if he has any aspirations of becoming a WWE superstar. But before he answers, Grayson Waller interrupts, says that Abraham should be on a real talk show, and tells the crew to bring out the Grayson Waller effect set, and they take out the Miz TV set. And they were basically just arguing who has the better talk show or whatever. That was stupid. And Abraham says he's here for Miz TV. That pisses Waller off. And then Waller and Miz get physical, and Miz and Abraham get the upper hand, beat him up. And then Abraham hits Waller with the people's elbow. And that was that. Again, I thought this was stupid, but something for the Saudi Arabian crowd. So I guess it's fine, but I just overall thought it just stupid. Ooh, my talk show is better than your talk show. No, my talk show is better than your. Stupid. What is with these childish antics going on lately? Like with the Kevin Owens and the Theory and Waller show. Oh, you have a punchable face. No, no, I have a punchable face. Your face is only a face that a mother could love. Like, what is with this 12-year-old antics going on? Oh, my TV show's better. No, my TV show's better. Your face is more punchable. No, 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 your face is more punchable. Like, what is... It's stupid. This is a wrestling show. And they're talking trash like they're 12-year-olds. Anyways, next we had Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio, and I thought this was great. Logan Paul is so good, and Rey Mysterio, you cannot put a better person in the with Logan than Rey Mysterio, because Logan has only, I think, what, this was his eighth match, they said, I believe. And look all the people he's wrestled, right? He's wrestled Roman, he's wrestled Ray, Dominic, and Miz. He's wrestled a lot of people that WWE has full trust in to lead him in a match. And I thought Logan killed it again. and so did Ray. They had a great match. Well, okay, well I want to say great, but it was very good, very good. I gotta start labeling standards. Great, fantastic, good, etc. It just wasn't bad at all. Very good stuff here between Logan and Ray. Um, Logan was like driving in the streets with like some weird. It looked really cool, but I didn't know what it was. I don't know what he was driving. Um, but that's how he came to the ring. During the match, Logan had one of his goons give him brass knuckles, but Ray knocks him out of his hands and they go outside the ring. And not Ray's, Logan's goon goes to crawl to get it over because he's crawling on the mat so the ref doesn't see him. And Santos, conveniently enough, is right there because he wasn't there at all during the match whatsoever. He just popped up conveniently to put his foot on the brass knuckles, and he picks up the knuckles. And then he goes to chase Logan's goon, and he just conveniently places the knuckles on the apron so Logan could grab him. Now, I don't know if this was just to make Santos look like a fucking idiot, or Santos is planting seeds that he's going to turn his back on Rey Mysterio soon. So who knows? But Logan uses the brass knuckles to knock Ray out to win the WWE United States Championship. Got a new champ. And again, I thought this was the only logical way for this match to go is to have Logan win. Ray's not doing much with that title, and this whole Ray and Santos stuff is a bit distracting when it comes to the US title. So I thought it was great for them to take it off of Ray and put it on Logan. Now Logan could, because Logan does so many other stuff outside of WWE, right? So he can get some more exposure on the product, doing it that way with his podcast, his appearances, boxing related stuff, or just anything he does in general. I feel like he's gonna wear that thing everywhere he goes. So good stuff. Next, we had Bianca Belair backstage. She basically just says that she's gonna get her title back. So she comes out for her match with Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. And I thought they were having a good match up until Bayley started interfering. I'll talk about this more in the main event. And I am just so sick of interferences. I see it on every wrestling show. I had to deal with it for 9 straight nights with New Japan Super Junior Tag League, fucking House of Torture, because they fucking cheat every fucking match. It's nonstop interference, and then we get interference here again with Bayley. It wasn't as bad, but it's just so annoying to just watch because how do I say this? You're going in to watch a match between two people that you think are gonna have a good match, and it just ends up with fuckery, non-stop interference, referee, people grabbing the referees, distracting the referees, interfering with a talent, with the refs turning back, like it. We see it so much. We see it all the time, or at least I do, because I watch. I watch a lot of wrestling. I watch Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, Impact, New Japan shows, and every company's pay per view. And it's probably just a me thing with the interference, but I see it so much, and I'm just so sick of it. We'll talk about it a little bit more in the main event because get into just a second. But yeah, Bayley just kept interfering in the match, and it got really sloppy. Bianca eventually got Bayley up for a KOD that she was going to put Bayley through the table. And out came Kairi Sane from the crowd. And the crowd had no idea who the fuck she was. Until she turned around. And then there was a pop. And Kairi Sane's back. She saved Bayley from getting a KOD, which is interesting. Talk about that in just a second. But Kyrie hits a flying knee on Bianca, throws her back in the ring. Io Sky hits her moonsault. She pins Bianca 1, 2, 3, and Io retains her title. Kyrie gets in the ring, and her and Io beat up Bianca a little bit more, and then Kyrie drops her insane elbow on Bianca, and the two celebrate in the ring while Bayley looks so confused outside by the announce desk. Now, Cole made a point to say that last time they saw Kyrie Sane, it was because of Bayley. Bayley was the reason why Kyrie got kicked out or left WWE. They try to play into that. That is interesting because hopefully we can get Bayley away from damage control and Io away from damage control. I just don't think it's doing any good for any of them anymore. At first it was fine, but it's been over a year, and it's just kind of stale. And they've been teasing a breakup for a long time. They still haven't done it yet. So hopefully with Kyrie here, we can finally see that split or something different. Man, it's just so frustrating. All this fucking interference. Next, we had Damian Priest versus Cody Rhodes. Priest came out without his. Cody got a huge reaction. They had a fine, simple match. They went like 11 minutes. 11, 12 minutes, something like that. Simple match. Nothing crazy happened in the match. Other than Cody hitting 3 crossroads in a row to beat Priest. A little bit redundant, but he tends to do that a lot in big matches. Go for more than one crossroads to match. So I'll give it a pass. But yeah, man, Priest gets beat again. They tend to do this a lot with Money in the Bank winners. They're like, oh, he's got the briefcase. We can just beat him. Because he's got the briefcase. Because he can literally just cash in whenever he wants to become world champion. And I want to say they've been doing it as much with Priest, but it just every time they have a Money in the Bank winner, they tend to beat them a lot in matches. So I don't know. It was just a nice, simple, good match between the two. Hopefully this leads to War Games. We shall see. Oh boy, this main event. Main event time. LA Knight, Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship. LA Knight again gets a massive reaction with the fans. They chant his name. They're so invested into him. Roman takes 40 fucking million years to come to the ring. And we have a match. Now, I was really, really digging the match. I really was. I thought it was going at a good pace. They weren't doing anything that was too crazy, out of pocket, or stupid. LA Knight was looking really good. That boy was cooking. And same for Roman. Roman was looking good too. They were having a really good competitive match. And then LA Knight kicks out of a spear, and then Roman's like, oh shit, I can't beat this guy. Give me Solo and Jimmy. Solo comes out, Jimmy comes out, and then it's just interference over and over again. Like, it doesn't make Roman's. Yes, it's impressive he's had the title this long, but if you look back at majority of his matches, it's fucking interference. Almost every single one of his championship defenses have had some kind of interference. And it to me, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure a lot of people like Roman, and I even like Roman, but to me, it doesn't make him look like a good champion if 90% of his matches are just fucking interference. It's redundant, it's stupid, it sucks, it makes Roman look weak. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't look like it's getting him heat with the audience. It just makes him look weak and a fraud champion if all of his matches are interference. And guess they had to go the interference route because they didn't want to beat LA Knight. But see, here's the thing: if you don't want to beat a guy who's popular and hot at the moment, then just don't do the match. Because now we don't know, because this happens all the time. Somebody gets hot and they have a match, and the fans really want a title change. Not just the crowd in the arena, but like the entire wrestling fan base wants to see a title change, and it doesn't happen. That character that loses the match tends to just go cold. I don't understand it. Like, here's some examples, right? Samoa Joe or Brock Lesnar. A lot of people wanted Joe to win. And what happened? Joe lost and he went cold. Same thing with Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar. I think it was what, No Mercy? A lot of people wanted Braun to win that title off of Brock. And did it, and Braun went cold. Um, Cody. A lot of people want, and I was not one of the people, but a lot of people wanted Cody to win the match, and Cody went cold for a little bit. He hasn't really done anything since WrestleMania. He just had a lot of he hasn't had anything that's felt important. Let's just say that. My eyes. So it's hard to I don't know what they're trying to do here with LA Knight. I don't know if this was just a test to see if he can keep himself being this over going forward, and then they'll give him a title, or what, because most of the time, oh, and Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins. Perfect. What happened? Rollins, that awful Hell in a Cell match, right? Rollins got cold. Bray went cold. They did the rematch in Saudi Arabia, put the title on Bray, and Rollins went completely ice cold. So this does tend to happen when you build up somebody to have the fans think that they're going to win the championship. And, oh, Sami Zayn, another one. Roman and Sami Zayn Elimination Chamber. Granted, they won the titles at WrestleMania, like 3 weeks after. But what happened after that? Ice cold. They weren't doing anything noteworthy or importance. This tends to happen. So if LA Knight, hopefully, LA Knight does not go cold with the fans because like, oh well, we wanted this guy to win and they let him win. What's the point of keep getting invested with this guy? I don't know. I hope this does not happen. I hope LA Knight can keep up his momentum, even though he had to go through all this fuckery and interference in his match. I feel like there's other ways to keep a feud going without having, oh well, I would have won if there wasn't interference with your guys. They rely on that so much. There's other ways to advance feuds and matches. Do rematches other than, oh well, your guys were the reason why I didn't win the title. You've seen it so many times, especially with Roman Reigns. So I don't know. I hope this doesn't start a trend for LA not to be cold. I really hope not. But we shall see. But that was the Crown Jewel review. I thought overall it was a good show. There's more good than bad. Other than that main event and that women's match, 5-way women's match, it was a good show. Good stuff. Now I'm curious to see what they're going to do Survivor Series and what they're going to do with the follow up from this pay per view. And I want to know what they're going to do with LA Knight next. So we shall see. That's going to do. I'm going to wrap it up. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys for the next video.